Well, get your science books out. It's time for another review. You know the deal by now. We go through this science review in our book. You're welcome to write the answers down. As we go through this in your book, I'll kind of go slowly to give you time to write them, but you can always pause the video too. And then your test questions tomorrow are going to look an awful lot like these. So make sure you get these jotted down. You can use your book on the test tomorrow. So make sure you're doing this and following along in the lesson today. Going to review for our test tomorrow. So the first part is 8 questions using these 8 words that we've learned in Unit 9. We've got to fill in the blank. Number 1 says, materials found in nature that are used by living things are what? Well, it's found in nature, so it's natural. It's used, so it's a resource. It's a natural resource. Number 1 is natural resource. Natural resources are things found in nature that are used by living things. Number 2, when harmful substances mix with water, air, and soil, there is, well, what would happen if we took our bag of food from McDonald's that's trashed now and we just throw it out in the creek? What do we call that? Harmful substances mixed with water. We call that pollution, don't we? We don't want to be a polluter. We want to keep the environment clean. So harmful substances cause pollution. Number 3, the use of less of something to make its supply last longer. We conserve it to make it last longer. That's called conservation. Conservation, the first word right here. Conservation means using less of something to make its supply last longer. Like shutting the sink off or turning the water off when you're brushing your teeth until you get all done and rinse everything out then. Number 4, a natural resource that cannot be replaced easily. Read these carefully on the test. It cannot be replaced easily. That means it takes a long time to replace it. So that makes it non-renewable. A resource that's non-renewable takes a long, long time to replace it. It cannot be replaced easily. Energy that is used, rather energy that is generated using renewable resources, that's called green energy. Green energy. When we use renewable resources like wind and solar power, that's called green energy because we're using renewable resources. Number 6, organisms whose whole kind is at risk of dying out. We saw a little video on that when we studied about it in our book. Those animals that are in danger of dying out are called endangered species. Endangered species. Number 7, a natural resource that can be replaced quickly. That's that renewable. Where's it at? There it is. Renewable resource. You can replace them quickly. A tree, for example. You can plant another tree. Number 8, a plant or animal that can be destructive and has no natural enemies to control its population. You just saw a video on that. That is an invasive species. So those poisonous frogs or all the rabbits or the different kinds of plants, anything that is invasive, it has no natural enemies to control its population. It grows like crazy like you saw in the video. All right, moving on. We've got some questions. Many household items are made from renewable resources. Which of these objects is made from a renewable resource? Plastic is made from petroleum. That's not renewable. Computer keyboard's got a lot of plastic in it. Nope. Motor oil, that's a fossil fuel. Nope. A wooden spoon is the answer because what is wooden spoon made from? Well, it's made from wood that comes from a tree, and a tree is a renewable resource. 10. Tony is studying the natural resources that supply water to his home. He traces the water from a mountain, through several small rivers, and to the large river that supplies his town with water. What's Tony studying? Back earlier in the chapters, we were looking at the Mississippi River and all the rivers that flowed into it. Do you remember what that was called? It's called a watershed. So a watershed is what he's studying. Well, I don't know what just happened, but everything got yellow. Number 11, why is wind a renewable resource? Renewable. It'll never run out. It's produced in nature. What do you think? It's A. It's never going to run out. Wind will never run out. It is produced in nature, but so is oil and fossil fuels. That doesn't make them a renewable resource, does it? So it's never going to run out. 12. Which natural resource is one that people need to live? Which one of these do we need to live? Water, forest, minerals, or fossil fuels? Well, I like to have a car to drive and it needs gasoline, but I don't have to have a car to live. Minerals? No. Forest? I think forests are beautiful, but I don't have to have a forest to live, but I do have to have water to live. If you don't drink water or drink something, get something to drink, you'll die. So 12 is A, water. Micah is identifying natural resources used to produce many of the items he uses every day. He's identified the source of paper and wood furniture. Which natural resource has he identified? So in other words, paper and wood are made from which one of these resources? Are they made from water? No. Are they made from forests? Well, what grows in forests? Trees. So that's the answer. Wood and wooden furniture are made from wood that come from a forest, not made of animals. And energy resources, that doesn't make sense. Why are invasive species harmful? So that video we just watched, what makes those animals and plants harmful? They cause pollution? No. They're non-renewable. Oh, they renew very fast. Some of them, don't they? They're not useful as natural resources. Well, we can still use some of them. They have no natural enemies to control their population. That's why they're invasive. The answer to 14 is D. They have no natural enemies. That's in the definition. No natural enemies on number 8 there. So should get number 14. Let's finish up these last few. The table below shows how long it takes for some biodegradable items to decompose in salt water. Which item will decompose the fastest? So kind of like our experiment we looked at a couple of days ago, which one of those things would decompose the fastest? Well, of these items that are right here, you've got the paper towels decomposing the fastest. It's only taken them 2 to 4 weeks. The next would be newspaper. Then the next would be cardboard. Next would be waxed milk carton. So, but the ones that decomposed the fastest was the paper towel. B. 16. It takes a long time for rocks to form. Limestone is a type of rock used in buildings in road construction. Which type of resource is limestone? Well, here's your clue. It takes a long time for it to form. So any kind of resource that takes a long time to form is non-renewable. D. 17. Which of these actions help conservation, help save, use less and save something? Importing invasive species? That doesn't make sense. Mine minerals for manufacturing? No. Use more non-renewable resources? No. Pass laws to clean up rivers and streams? Yes. That would help conservation. It would help them last longer, and the animals in them last longer because the water is less polluted. Number 18. The graph below shows the recycling rate for several products. So this is how quickly we are recycling these things. Which of these products do we recycle the most? Which has the biggest line? It's cardboard boxes, right? So cardboard boxes, B is the answer. And then 19, people use land resources to help them meet their needs. Coal is a fossil fuel that people mine from the land. They burn coal to make electricity. Which type of resource is coal? Now that's a fossil fuel that forms over a long time, so it's a non-renewable energy source because it would take a long time to replace it. You'll have one more question. It's not number 20 on the next page in your book. You're going to have one more question. I'll let it be a surprise. Make sure you get these down in your book. You can use them a lot to help you tomorrow. All right. Good luck on your test tomorrow. We'll see you then.